Welcome back, Children of the Night. We have returned for another episode review of Anne Rice's The Vampire Lestat. This is episode 2. I don't know whether to call this season 1 or season 3, so we're just going to say episode 2.
Yeah, because it's a continuation of Interview with a Vampire, but it's like the next book in the Chronicles.
And it's also got a whole different vibe to it also. So it definitely feels like an entirely different show. But also, you can't just watch this without having seen the first 2 seasons. So, like, it's a little confusing.
It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It can be something. It can be something.
Yeah.
But politics aside, this episode, we're dealing with the events of what happened in the first episode with
the Fang Gang and all that bullshit happening there.
Yeah. And Lestat just flying out the window, scaring the absolute you know what, out of his bandmates.
And, revealing that he's a vampire, like a real vampire to his bandmates.
Yep.
And
with undeniable proof of flying out the window.
Which, fun fact, in the book, he reveals it to them, like, on the spot when he meets them. Like, they know off that.
It's an interesting change to give a little bit more drama, but if you wouldn't believe a guy that says, hey, I've been living since the 1700s.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, in the book, he, like, flies around and shows them he can do cool shit, and then, as proof that, he has powers.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, this BS we've been spouting? It's not BS.
Because, like,
I can actually do that for real.
Because, like, the interesting thing about the show version versus the book Lestat is like the book is, because it takes place in the 80s, it has that, like, 80s sense of optimism to it.
Yeah.
Right? And so Lestat is very much has, like, a lust for life and is very, like, jubilant and whatnot. But this is, like, fucking 2025, so everything is much more nasty and pessimistic, because, this world sucks.
I wouldn't say pessimistic. I would say excessive.
I mean,
it's more.
I'm talking about pessimistic in terms of Lestat being pessimistic. He's extremely pessimistic.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you, but I'm also. He's giving me the vibe of, like, he's not pessimistic. He is living and enjoying life. But it's more like,
I don't see that as enjoying life. I see that as a coping mechanism for how much life sucks.
I'm saying he is perceiving it as enjoying life when he's actually just kind of working through his problems unknowingly,
Okay, I can see that.
And that's kind of the reason why we have the framing device of these albums, It's Lestat in the future, it kind of explaining his thought process of what he was doing during this time period of him just kind of
traipsing around the country,
reorientating himself.
Yeah. It was good to see Louis again. Always a treasure. Always a pleasure to see Jacob Anderson. Wonderful. Their banter is great.
Also, the argument with the lawyers over what happened at Louis' building, which we didn't know it was Louis' building until this episode.
Yep.
With the Fang Gang. Just to hear these grown individuals just bicker and argue.
Yeah,
like divorced parents.
It goes to show. That bitter exes. It doesn't matter how many centuries it's been. Will always be bitter exes.
Oh, hell yeah!
But we also found out that both of them have a special relationship with their lawyers.
Yeah. Which I mean, makes sense. It's like immortal existences are very lonely. So companionship is kind of required.
And apparently, Lestat's lady lawyer is just like the GOAT.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah,
one prospect.
yeah. Master.
Other than being a lawyer, of course.
Mastered the Gluck 3000. Like he had a much better, more eloquent metaphor for it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Well, and I can't believe Louis in his explaining his lawyer fuck friend here.
Yep.
Like he's just a lay, nothing real special about him.
And he's emotionally unavailable, so I don't have to worry about all the baggage. Unlike certain someone.
Which I don't know whether to feel hurt or just kind of honored when a vampire says you're emotionally unavailable.
I mean, there's a little bit of both. Personally, like I feel like that's the best way to approach relationships if you're a vampire, at least in this world. Because like,
emotionally unavailable. I get you, yeah.
Yeah, because if you feel this hard, like getting attached it's just a recipe for disaster.
Oh.
Speaking of getting attached and a recipe for disaster, let's talk about the vampiress Gabrielle, aka Lestat's mama.
He also
yeah, he also does things with that you see in certain categories, but no step is involved there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get to learn a little bit more about Lestat in this episode.
Yeah, which is interesting because the book itself, a good majority of it is all this, just the frame, just Lestat's life, and the interviews the creators did. They said they're not going to do too much of this, so I think this is about as much as we'll get. They said they're going to focus primarily on modern time because they want to focus on the wonderful actors they have now instead of just introducing us to a brand new cast of characters that we are only going to see for a season because they're all just flashback people. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair, and it gets the point across of what we need to know about Louis' past anyway.
Yeah.
Since we also got a small chunk of it in interview.
Yep, and how just shitty his brothers are, and it looks like the next episode we will get to see flashbacks to Nikki, his first, not first fledgling because his first fledgling was his mother, but like his first paramour fledgling.
Yeah, like the love of his, his first love.
Yeah, as a vampire, and then this was like his big lesson on kind of being selective on choosing who to turn because Nikki was mentally unstable before he turned, and doing that amplifies it. We'll see in the next episode. I'll talk about that in more detail, but it's gonna be interesting to see that.
Also, I have to say this. I mean, it was a reasonable crash out for Alex, one of the bandmates, but bro.
Yeah.
This was not the time to be grandstanding, bro.
Also,
really?
This is all you've got, dude. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, come on. The rest of the band understands. It's like, look, this is fucked up, but this is all we got. we gotta ride this gravy train until the wheels fall off.
And only to have Lestat say, "Hey, if you say anything, I'm coming after you, and I'm coming after your brother."
Right? Poor Larry. Larry was down, and you just fucked it up for Larry too. Hope you're happy, Alex.
Yeah, bro, this is okay. I get your moral standing. Vampire killed people, killing people bad, but vampire could do the same to you, bud.
And also, you gotta kind of, not saying that vampires are animals, but kind of the way I view vampire murder, like vampire human murder, at least in the Rice world, is more of the same way I kind of view nature cycles and the cycles of life. Predators are gonna have to prey on stuff,
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing we can do about that. And vampires in this world are like the apex of apex predators.
Yeah, and also how very vegan of Alex to just basically say,
yeah,
this is wrong.
Like,
I'm wondering. No, this is just getting too much in the weeds of like certain characters' actions that really doesn't matter in the end. But like, is he one of those militant vegans?
probably. It feels like it, especially with the kind of how he was bringing down the vibe.
Yep. But one other thing that I have to mention in this episode is like the backstory stuff between Lestat and Gabrielle is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she, as the wife of a marquis, was like, God, I hate it here.
Yeah,
this is so
and
dull
she felt so
and
trapped.
boring,
Yeah,
and good portion of my kids fucking suck.
yep. The only one that I like is also being smothered and suffocated in this shitty life.
Well, and also she really didn't like truly respect him and everything until the wolves.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
For sure.
Where they also shared a very weird moment together.
Although
Yeah,
Lestat does point out that it wasn't really a crime back then, but I don't care, Lestat. It's still fucking weird.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they had their own inside joke, but that doesn't mean she's like, I still don't like this kid.
Yep.
He's my favorite out of my children.
But all my children suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And haven't you noticed? I like this detail because I've noticed it, like the de-evolution of the Marquis over time.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Kind of like, yeah, he had like the nice powdered wig at first when Lestat was a child, and then by the time we see them when Lestat's an adult, he's like balding and just fat and fucked up.
And just starting to go blind.
Yep.
Like, I find that just a great attention to detail.
Oh,
like the de-evolution of this man.
And it's also like a good symbol of just the breaking down of that family overall, and it was really cool.
And you also see that in like how Lestat's brothers kind of evolved into men.
Yep.
Sorry,
one excuses for men, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Sorry, excuses for men. Also, the brunette brother with the really dark brown hair.
Yep.
Bro, you married a woman with lover's pox.
Yeah.
My guy.
Oof.
You really shot yourself in the foot, didn't you?
Yeah. Know how to pick them. Jesus.
Did you give her the pox, or did she have it already?
I don't know, because the blonde one was the one that like the mom complained about like fucking around with like whores and servant girls, so it wasn't like, so he wasn't the one doing that. So
yeah,
it might have been her, or it could have been him. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not.
To be fair, at that time, male aristocrats would always do some fucking around,
Yeah, I'm not really an expert on 18th century venereal diseases.
Neither am I, but I would hazard a guess that if they be fucking as much as we be fucking most of the time in modern day, they pass venereal diseases like they are candy.
Fair enough.
Especially
probably more so because
there was no such thing as contraception.
And also, there's no such thing as like
penicillin
TV and like things to distract you, so you didn't have much to do.
Yep.
Okay, so you're technically incorrect that there was no contraceptions.
Oh yeah, I mean
during that time period.
Okay, yeah.
But there was known contraceptives in throughout history that humanity is a very fascinating path to go on. We could talk about that all day.
Yep.
However, I find it fascinating that the release of like normal inhibitions in when it comes to Rice's vampires is just that breaking down of the walls that we built to kind of like limit ourselves, and how freeing it is to actually just do what you feel like doing. And that freedom is what Gabrielle wanted more than anything.
And it's definitely what she embodies, because she definitely has a feeling of a free spirit, even more so than Lestat. And like you can see where he picked up a lot of his mannerisms and habits from, with how much he like loved and idolized her. And not even just in the Freudian way. I can't believe he fucking proved him right. Like, god damn it, that pisses me off personally. But yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Like, there wasn't too much substantial in this episode for real, other than that, other than the flashback stuff.
We did have stuff with Daniel, like Daniel meeting Lestat's mom, but not knowing that it's Lestat's mom.
And also Daniel introducing Louis to or not introducing Louis because Louis was already familiar, but like having Louis talk to the Talamasca people he's working with. And Louis just being like, nope, fuck off. I'm not dealing with that.
Until they said the one word.
Yep.
Bruce.
Which, if you guys don't remember Bruce, for those of you watching the video, Bruce was the vampire that like ran into Claudia, and we're not gonna say that because it can't be said on YouTube, but assaulted. We'll just say I feel like that can be said. Assaulted Claudia. That guy. Yeah.
Which
he was the leader of the fan gang.
Even when he first found out about it, was so pissed. But now that he's had like centuries,
multiple
to stew
centuries
on it.
And like he was pissed that he got away, and now it's like, oh well, we can help you find the guy. He is the leader of that gang that fucked up your hotel.
Which, of course, his gang would have a stupid name.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you remember, in season 2, Claudia is the one that gave him that name. Because she's the one that, like, kind of, when they were having the conversation, she's like, get your own little, make a whole group of vampires, like a gang. And then he's like, oh yeah, a little fang gang, And there you go. So technically, it was Claudia.
Yep, and Louis, at least in this episode, and I think this will be the last thing, having this moment where he's just chasing the ghosts of Claudia, and it was a very emotional and somber moment.
Oh yeah,
for a guy that is the embodiment of melancholy.
And it's very much a reflection of Rice, because if you know the story of Anne Rice, the whole reason she wrote Interview with the Vampire in the first place was a grieving process for her losing her and her husband losing their young daughter, who Claudia is the inspiration for. So like having that definitely kind of resonates and like reflects on the author, even though she is no longer with us. And I think that was just a nice touch.
I agree.
Isn't her son involved?
Her son is involved. Yes. Her son, I believe, is an executive producer, and it's like is the one directly in charge of like kind of in creative control, has the final say, because he's the one who's in charge of her estate. Because her husband is also has also long passed. So yeah, I believe it's him. His name is Christopher, I believe. But yeah. So yeah. Overall, once again, another great episode. Don't have as much to go about in-depth wise, but still really good stuff. We're not really here to do like big in-depth book comparisons. So we're just kind of viewing this more as the show. I'll bring up book stuff here and there, but I'm not gonna break it down and do like full on comparison to each time. So I feel like that's a good way to wrap it up, and we will be back actually pretty soon. We would have put this out earlier, but life circumstances came up and we had to push the recording back. But hopefully you guys understand, and we will have tons of content coming out for you this week, so hopefully that makes up for it. Until next time, we'll see you later. Peace.